Hey, my people. Hello, tribe. It's 3:16 p.m. and we are headed from the Oklahoma homestead back to the Texas homestead. Suburbia. Holy cow's out. That guy's got a problem on his hand. Let's see. 12 Brahmas on the side of the road. That sucks. Okay, not why you're here. Why are you here? You are here because we have talked, alluded to a concept quite a bit, but never really put down some foundation for this concept here at this channel. And I'm listening back to the content that I've recorded over the weekend, which is something that I do, by the way. I try and police my own content and not put stuff out that I'm not happy with. So whatever I record over the weekend while I'm in Oklahoma usually posts Sunday night when I get back to Texas, the land of Wi-Fi, and I listen to it on the ride back to make sure that I'm not giving y'all bad advice or that I couldn't say something better or don't sound like a jerk. Within reason. I'm inherently a jerk, so a little bit of that's going to come through. But here's the point. The point is this. There's a quote that I absolutely love and that I have beaten a few people over the head with at key times in my life, and it's this. Idealism increases with distance from the problem. Idealism increases with distance from the problem. The farther away from the problem you are, the more ideal about the solution you become. I was in South Texas doing a job, and I needed to order some very specialized, expensive stone, high quartz content river stone for specialty concrete for a power job to, maintain thermal row and increase ampacity and all the blah, blah, blahs. All right, so I had to call the home office, and the engineer in the home office is like, you should have 400 ton left, according to my calculations, in the stone bin. Well, according to my eyeballs, I'm standing in the stone bin, and it's empty, bro. Well, according to my calculations, you should have 400 tons left. Where did that 400 tons go? I don't know. It's not like we stole it. It's stone. We're in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing I can do with it. It's just, bear in mind, 400 tons sounds like a lot. We were burning up to 8,000 tons a day. So that's 5%. Right? So over the course of a week, that's less than 1% total volume, right? So, and that's what I told this guy, and he's like, well, until you account for that 400 tons, I'm not sending you any more stone. Being very idealistic. I said, that's cool. You're holding up a $1.8 billion project. I'll be sure to let the project owner know that you, Joe Smith, or whatever his name was, I remember his name, but that's none of y'all's business, that you're the reason we can't pour concrete. And if we can't pour concrete, we can't erect towers. If we can't erect towers, can't stack cans, we can't fly nacelles. Can't fly nacelles, can't fly rotors. Not flying rotors, you're not topping out. Not topping out, you're not commissioning. You're not commissioning, you're not making power, baby. Well, he approved my order of stone. But idealism increases with distance from the problem. That is in large part why I am constantly on you guys to go out and use your gear. Because a 30-inch long handled 3.5 pound camp axe tied to your bug out bag, your 50-mile bug out bag, might seem like the ideal tool for the job for processing firewood and building shelter on your bug out. Until you actually do it, you find out you're carrying 3 pounds too much weight, and the handle is constantly pushing you in the kidneys every time you walk, and it's not actually tied to your pack properly, and the blade cover worked itself loose while you were hiking and wiggled out and cut one of your pack straps, and you got a bad nick from the blade, and you didn't have a suture kit with you, and your trauma kit sucks, and you barely got it patched back together with your boo-boo kit, and you got surface rust on the blade, and blah, 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 blah. Because you learn by doing. So, it's the core reason that I beseech you guys to go do stuff. Because it shrinks your idealism and gets you here into the real world where real data matters, right? Where it doesn't matter so much. The guy with the beard on YouTube said you should have this knife. You'll also notice if you pay attention to this channel, I don't know if I've wholeheartedly endorsed anything on this channel. I've shown you the setups that I run as thought pieces to tickle your brain about your setups. But I can't think of one piece of gear that I brought to the table to show you guys and said unequivocally, you need to go buy this because it's the best ever. Because there is no best ever. There's only the best choice for these circumstances at this time. That's all that there is. And anything else is just idealism. So, I just wanted to get this out there as a foundational talk to this channel. That when I go out, when I say go out there and do stuff, right? Go forth and do. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's a monster rain cloud over the top of this peak off to my south. I'm headed west at the moment, about to turn south, and there's a killer storm head out there. It looks cool. I could probably afford to take these glasses off, but then I wouldn't look cool. Definitely not tactical. But here's the thing. Go forth and do is a mentality, and it's a protocol. I think that's what a lot of you guys are missing is, yes, the mentality portion of it is absolutely important, right? But it's a protocol. Your stuff isn't squared away until you've sweat and bled on it. The best pieces of furniture, the best woodworking I've ever done, and I've told people, is the stuff that I've cried tears on, bled on, and sweat all over. Literally has my blood, sweat, and tears on it. I made a shadow box out of black walnut, handcrafted to hold the tiniest little urn for the tiniest little child. And that's all we're going to say about it. But I cried over that thing when I made it. And I cut myself with a chisel and bled all over the back of it. And it was hot as hell when I made it. And I sweat all over that thing. I was cut. I mean, it had my essence all over it. And it was an honor to me to build it for these people. They tried to compensate me, and what they didn't understand was the honor of building it was more than enough compensation. But that's how I engage life, right? Go forth and do. When that something, whatever it is, leaves my shop, it's got me all over it. My knives have my edges on them because they've been used so many times. There's not a hint of factory edge left. It's my edge. The scales, G10 handle scales are not light tan anymore. They're dark brown because there's so much oil from my hands impregnated into the scales, right? And sweat and dirt and grime. My guns, right? They just, if they got paint jobs, the paint job is dinged and dented and beat up and scratched and looks cool, right? There's guys out there that they're having their guns Cerakoted to look like Boba Fett guns. Well, I'm not into that, all that nerd stuff, but the Boba Fett gun just looks like a gun that's been rode hard and put away wet. If you want to do that, just go shoot the crap out of your gun. All right, so quit faking it and go forth and do, right? Decrease the distance in between you and your problem so that your idealism shrinks away and you get experiential expertise. Y'all are too far away from the idea of bugging out. And I say this with love, not judgment. You're too far away from the idea of bugging out to actually have any hard and fast opinions and information about bugging out, because you haven't done it. Which is why you're being ideal about it. Which is why you're caught up in the box checker mentality, the gear game. If I get a better gun, I'll shoot better. If I get a better knife, I'll have better knife skills. If I get a better pack, my back won't hurt so much when I carry it. Not because I got 4 months worth of stuff for a 4-day bug out in my bag. If I get a Kindle and fill it full of every PDF I can find, I don't need to actually have the practical experience, because I can stop everything I'm doing all the time and pull up my Kindle and reference all the information on it. Except for the fact that eventually the battery will die on that. Well, then I'll just get a solar recharger so that I keep that Come on, man. The more complicated your system is, the more likely it is to fail. So, whether you're 18 or 78, you can wear a rucksack and go for a walk. You can learn how to strike a ferro rod, right? You can learn how to put an edge on a knife. And I'm just imploring you to go do that. Decrease the distance from your problems. Go get personal with your bugging out problems. And for that matter, any other problem you have too. We don't spend enough time with our problems. We push them away in a corner somewhere, and then they just remain problems. We don't get the tactical knowledge and the strategic knowledge and how to deal with that problem because we quarantine it. That's all you're doing with your bug out bag, is you're buying crap, putting it in the bag, and quarantining the solution to that perceived problem without ever actually building the expertise to deal with the problem. So, idealism increases with distance from the problem. Decrease the distance from the problem. Go get hands-on personal with your bugging out problems and play with your gear so you quit being idealistic about the gear that you need, refine your systems, and get better. Be better tomorrow than you are today. Roger? Roger. Love you guys. Please don't get mad at this. Get convicted at it. Okay? Get convicted. Be better. I ain't the best. But man, I'm out there swinging every day trying to get better than I was yesterday. So, foundational knowledge. Idealism increases with distance from the problem. Go get personal with your problems. I'll talk to y'all later.